It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show and Mortlock Shield across last weekend. Eastern Eyre well represented, not just there, but at the Norwood Cup on the Sunday as well for the under-15s. Jared Sampson joins us on the line to talk about how they went. Sambo, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Long weekend out the way, halfway through the season, mate. So, yeah, the weekend most people look forward to over on the coast. The big Mortlock Carnival. So, yeah, wintry weather is upon us again too.
Yes, it is. You can set your watch by it. Thankfully, a bit of rain around. I'm sure there's plenty of crops that are in. Mortlock's normally the cut-off. Get the crop in before Mortlock and then get down to Lincoln on the Saturday, and plenty did. Reasonable-sized crowd, I believe, for Mortlock Saturday, but for Eastern Eyre, over the 4 games, they won 2 and lost 2, so... I guess when you sit in the middle of the table, 3rd out of 5, you're in sort of no man's land, really, aren't you?
Yeah, middle of the table, mate. Yeah, obviously, yeah, Great Flinders had another pretty handy side down there on the weekend, so touched up everyone but City they went down to. But, yeah, can't be, yeah, a couple of good wins for the boys. So, yeah, take a bit out of it, mate. Some pretty good individual performances by a few of the boys down there too. So, yeah, another weekend out the way, mate. Always been renowned as a pretty competitive league, so it's good to be a part of it.
No doubt. Could have been a whole lot better for Eastern Eyre. Game 1 is where it went south, funnily enough. You're playing 15 minutes into your carnival and you look at the scoreboard and you see Lincoln City 5-1, Eastern Eyre 4 points. Obviously, only went down by 13 points in that game in the end to Lincoln City, who finished second on the table. But really blown out of the water in that first quarter. Obviously, there was a bit of a breeze going around on Mortlock Saturday too, from what I'm told. And I imagine Lincoln City used that to their advantage in that first quarter. But look, Sid Masters was the leading goal kicker, I think, not just in this game, but I think for Eastern Eyre over the Carnival. Is that right?
Yeah, Sid was leading goal kicker for the Carnival, mate. He had same as his club footy, mate. Big, imposing presence. So had a great weekend down there. Finished with 9 goals for the weekend, I think. 5 goals in the last game on Monday. So pretty dominating display on Monday in the final game against District. So he's got a wonderful kick on him. A couple of his goals he slotted for long range were just straight through the big stick. So, yeah, good weekend for Sid down there. He really showed his class.
Yep, Eastern Eyre managed to knock over Western Eyre in the final game of the Saturday. It was 4-5 to 3-6. And then, of course, with everyone playing everyone, you backed up again on the Monday, and there was 1-1 at lost 1 again. First of all, you ran into that red-hot Great Flinders side, who Great Flinders on Mortlock Monday are always tough to take, but these guys were particularly tough, 8-5 to 2-3, and then finished on a high in the end on the last game of the Carnival, I believe, ended up beating Lincoln District. So it is what it is. Mortlock's done, 2 wins, 2 losses, but there were some award winners we should talk about.
Yeah, there was, Bobby Rack obviously had an exceptional carnival down there, mate. So carried the duties of ruck with the big men we had out, and he took home the Bampton medal. So he's been playing some good footies. Yeah, really leads from the front. So big, imposing presence. So good reward for him, mate. He's it's great to have him back over on the coast playing footy. And Jack Kenny, he's just tried and tested down in Lincoln, isn't he? He's always a top performer in these games. Always, every level you step up, his footy just is as consistent as ever. So he was a tie with Macaulay Glover from Great Flinders for the Wes Crosby medal, which is the runner-up best and fairest. So, yeah, a couple of names there, and Bobby and Jack, that they're just consistent footballers no matter the level they're playing. So, yeah, great reward. And following that, got a few boys in the EP squad. So, Sid Masters, Bobby and Jack, obviously, at quality weekend. Riley Maitland from Kimber. He's, much like Jack, he's just a class above, and his footy just grows as he steps up to the next level. Jesse, obviously, he wasn't available on the weekend, but yeah, he's usually a walk-up start for that EP side. And young Hank Burden from Rangers, he's continued on his form. He had a good weekend down in Lincoln, and yeah, good to see reward for effort for a young fella getting a crack at EP footy, mate. He'll be stronger for the experience, and hopefully he can get a gig in the side once the squad's trimmed.
Fingers crossed. That's a good return for Eastern Eyre. We'll have a look at the Norwood Cup, where unfortunately Eastern Eyre finished bottom of the table, had two pretty tough games. I mean, when you head into the Port Adelaide Cup and your draw is Lincoln Districts and Great Flinders, that's the draw of death pretty much, isn't it?
It was, yeah. You cringed when you'd see that draw. I remember from time coaching back in Midwest, if you drew those two sides on the weekend, you knew you had a hard slog ahead of you. So, yeah, it's, the boys battle it out, mate. But you're coming up against plenty of depth in those two squads. So, yeah, familiar names in there. It's good to see our young lad, Jacob Ryan. He's been playing exceptional footy at club level. So he went down to Port Adelaide, Norwood Cup, and obviously carried on his form, had a great carnival, and yeah, took out the best and fairest of Eastern Eyre sides. Great reward for effort. But you see some of the names in there. You've got Ashton Hartwig, Max Seal, and Jacob, obviously. So we're seeing them regularly at club level, and it's great to see they can get down to Norwood Cup and continue their form on in a higher standard.
Yep, spot on. And look, we won't need to mention who won that one as well. Look, Primey will do enough bragging about that in our other podcasts for Great Flinders football. So well done, Great Flinders. As much as that maroon jumper of theirs hurts my retinas, you got to take your hat off and say well done.
Yeah, you got to give credit where it's due, mate. They're always strong performers come down in Lincoln. You look at some of the names in that squad they have across their seniors in particular. They've got Hazel Grove and Casey Carr, the Creddy boys, Mitch Laurie. It's just there's some serious depth in there, and that core group they've got in their squad, they've been down there for the last 8 to 10 years, consistent footballers, and it's the core that EP sides generally moulded around, mate. So credit where it's due, exceptional squad, and yeah, I think the results showed that they really step up when the time comes at that time of year. So it'd be great to get one over in one day, but we'll just have to wait another 12 months, won't we?
We will indeed. That's where we'll leave our coverage of the Mortlock Shield weekend. We move back to club matches this week, which is, I think, good news for everyone. Back to Eastern Eyre football Saturday, the 19th of June. And you'll be heading up to Kimber, Central Eyre United. This should be an interesting challenge for you guys. You're going to get a couple back now?
Yeah, hopefully got a few coming back. So still unsure on Jesse whether he'll be back from a hamstring, mate. Probably something we don't really want to rush through. Would rather him at the latter end of the season than this weekend, to be honest. So, but no, slowly getting a few boys back into the squad, mate. The effort's there, but yeah, what a game to launch back into after a week off. Kimber at home. It's probably no big challenge, isn't there? I'm hoping their injury issues are still there, and hopefully Kempy's decided he still needs a few more weeks off after some rib issues. So yeah, looking forward to the challenge though. We're slowly building as we get guys back. I'm hopeful we'll be more competitive than last time we're there and can give them a good crack.
It should be an interesting game of football, particularly in the twos and the senior colts. Looking forward to seeing those results. And the A grade at full strength, as we know, aren't without a chance. But they're a classy unit, the Kimber Districts boys, particularly when they're at full strength as well. All right, last match of the round in the A grade competition for Eastern Eyre football will be Ports hosting Cow. This should be interesting too. You'd think Ports at full strength would be good enough to beat Cow, but Cow have been pretty good over the last month without getting a win. Their foot's on the till. Can they get over the line in this one?
Oh, how do you tip at the moment, mate? It's just been such a mixed bag this last month. It's a Cow. Just they fell agonisingly short against us a couple of weeks ago. So if they've got their full side in, they're playing some extremely competitive footy. Just need to sneak over the line. So at the end of the day, it's only 2 games out of the 4. So if they could jag one this weekend, they're still within touch, aren't they? So yeah, I think that I'd almost be willing to back them in, given there's so much on the line for them. And seeing the performance they had a couple of weeks ago, they're just hard to beat, physical footy. And Port's, it's hard to get a track on what their form guide is, isn't it? They can push aside 1 week, and then the result against Rangers the week after was, sort of a polar opposite. So, see if some of their boys from the weekend are a bit sore from the experience, but could potentially see Cow get up and have a win here.
Should be an interesting game. All right, mate, we'll leave it there. All the best to you and Central Eyre United in your travels to Kimber. Look forward to catching up with you again next week to find out how it all goes.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And just before we go, congratulations.
Hang on a minute. We can't go yet. Yeah.
We better not forget Legs. He's awarded a life membership to Western Zone Junior Footy on the weekend, and you'll struggle to find a more deserving individual. His contribution to junior footy on the West Coast over the last 20 years has been second to none. So, great reward for a fantastic guy. Very humble individual. So he's, we owe him a lot for what he's done. I know as a club, he's always been exceptional for his commitment to junior footy in the region. So fantastic reward for effort over the journey.
Could not agree more. One of the good guys in EP football. There's no doubt about that. Doesn't do it for accolades or pats on the back. He just does what he does and has done for years to try and get the next crop of kids through in EP football, and he just keeps bringing them through, doesn't he?
Yeah, no doubt, mate. Some of the talent that's been turned out from EP footy over the last 20-odd years is without a doubt due to his commitment to the cause, mate. So, fantastic guy, all the way from Auskick upwards. He's heavily involved, does a power of work. So, great to see some reward for effort there.
Thanks for pulling me up on that. Good on your Legs. All the best, and all the best to you, mate. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Cheers, mate. We'll catch you next week.